It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, HP made an acquisition. Folks, this is an interesting acquisition because it kind of made me start thinking about some of the other things I've been talking about regarding HP, like the Amplify agreement and giving information away to OEMs and giving contact information and names away to OEMs and how you got to be really careful when you're doing that. Well, HP made an acquisition, and they actually acquired a remote access software provider called Teradici. I might have said that wrong, but I'll spell it for you. It's Teradici. But there you go. HP just bought, let me just read that again, remote access software provider. So now you're all saying, well, what does that mean? I don't know what that means, but HP, they're pretty smart people out there, right? They have a way now to have remote access with end users. They know who the end users are because dealers give them the end users' names as part of some kind of agreement so they can get lower pricing. You see how this kind of could snowball into something that maybe many of my friends in the Document Imaging channel might not appreciate. Remember back when I was saying that, it's not about what you believe the data could be used for today. It's about what the data collector could imagine they could use the data for maybe in the future. Because see, they might have a better imagination than you. So this just proves to me that we got to start really paying attention to any OEM asking us for really intrusive information, especially down to the details of the contact person. Just some things to think about. Just some things to think about, folks. But you can see how HP's positioning themselves, for a future deliverable, which might not include folks in the way that they deliver today, right? Well, keep in mind that the OEMs, they're trying to go where the buyers go, right? They all do that. People that make things, they want to deliver those things to those end users the way the end users want to buy them. Now, they might be fooled temporarily in how the end users might want to buy these things, but eventually, the evolution of progress always wins, and then those that are making the products will always deliver it based on the way the users want to acquire it. So then I run into this article by our friend, industry friend. We all know this person, right? Luella Fernandez, out of Europe. She put together a great article. Luella's a great thought leader. I don't agree with everything she says all the time, and she probably doesn't agree with everything I say all the time. But the bottom line is she is a thought leader. She makes people think. She makes people start asking questions. She researches the marketplace. She does a good job of what she does. But she put this article out there. She's talking about how, the cloud is it, right? Everybody's going to the cloud. 76% of organizations are already using cloud marketplaces such as those on AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud platforms to procure and provision cloud solutions. So the question my friends in the Document Imaging channel just have to ask themselves is this. When are they going to buy the printers? Do y'all think this is never going to happen? We got every OEM in the marketplace out there doing what? Enhancing their cloud platforms, right? All the OEMs have cloud platforms to manage the print, to manage the drivers, all this stuff. It's all changed. It's all in the cloud, right? So when's the end user just going to acquire the hardware from the cloud? Folks, it's just a matter of time. We all know this, right? That's why I've been so big on e-commerce platforms and educating your customers on how they can buy things easier from you. And working with these OEMs on how you can deliver cloud services more robust to your end users. Well, if you don't want to do that as a dealer, whether you're a small dealer or whether you're a mega dealer, if you want to just ignore what's going on all around you, go ahead and ignore what's going on all around you. But the OEMs, they're not ignoring it. The OEMs are putting themselves in a position to do what? To deliver their hardware and their services the way the customers want to buy it. And folks, here's the reality. Those OEMs, they don't just need the Document Imaging channel to accomplish delivering hardware to the end users the way they want it. They could just bypass a lot of the channel players, a lot of the dealers that we know. They could just say, we don't need you anymore. We don't need you. Customers are buying less complicated equipment. Do you see where all this is going, folks? 3 years of screaming at you? 3 years of telling you that we're moving from A3 to A4? Do you see where all this is going? When I've been screaming about overreaching OEMs for the last year? Well, it's going to a place that a lot of you aren't imagining, and you better start imagining that place. And you better start thinking about how you're going to position your business to sell things besides print equipment. You'll sell some print equipment, no doubt about it. You'll manage print services, no doubt about it. But you're not going to do it in the format that was just so powerful for this industry in the 90s and the 2000s. It's going to change drastically. And the one-offs here and there, the A3 equipment you're going to be left over, it's not going to be enough to sustain you in the comfort of 1980 or 2000. So we have to pivot, we have to transition. By the way, you know, when HP did that acquisition, that was number 458 in the technology services sector. The money's going where? Cloud services, cloud software platforms, IT services. The money's not really going in the print sector, right? We don't see any big giant investments being made in the print sector. We can't even get the OEMs to consolidate with each other. I'm almost thinking to myself, maybe the bankers, maybe the investment community is saying, print? What? What was your volume last year? What was it before the pandemic? What is it now? The future looks kind of, I mean, there's a lot of things going on, right? There's a lot of changes in the marketplace, and those changes, you know, Luella was spot on. We're moving to the cloud. We're moving to the cloud. Ladies and gentlemen, these are things we got to start thinking about. But we need more thought leadership. Folks like Luella out there throwing things out there, making people challenge their thinking. You know, it seems to me in the Document Imaging channel, we have a lot of reunion leadership. Someone asked me the other day, Ray, what is reunion leadership? Well, that's where you take pictures of yourself eating dinner or hugging someone in 1980 and believing that's going to help you innovate to the future. That's not, it's just content that's worthless. And ladies and gentlemen, we need to start challenging each other like we never challenged each other before. You know, we got the BTA meeting coming up in San Diego. I think today is actually the last day to register for that, so get registered. Go talk to those vendors that are at that have nothing to do with print. Go look at those products and services that have nothing to do with print. And start thinking about how you're going to position your company to deliver products and services that have nothing to do with print. Folks, you don't need any lessons in print. You know it. You're experts at it. You don't need to learn how to build print. You're experts at it. What you need to know is how to deliver alternative solutions and products. What you need to pay attention to is what OEMs will work with you through this transition. What OEMs are overreaching that you need to probably run from. And you need to go to these events and have some thought leadership and talk to people to help you move the needle. I will say, if you're just going to go to the event, take pictures of yourself out on the boat so you can post that stuff on social media, that's not going to really help you change the game. We need to create that new normal. Let's create the new normal. Let's not show up to something somebody else creates for us. Because ladies and gentlemen, we all know this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.